Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. My goodness, what a run of good weather we are having here in Ottawa. Just unbelievable. I can't even remember the last time we had spring weather like this. It's just been absolutely fabulous. And you know what that leads to many people doing? And it's gardening. And the good news is it is actually the year of the garden nationally. Across the country, the year of the garden. So a lot of people, you know, during the pandemic, they decided to either take up gardening for the first time or, you know, just go back to gardening, something that they love to do. And there's nothing better than, you know, growing your own food and growing flowers. And here to tell us how we can, you know, stay away from some of those aches and pains when it comes to gardening season, we are joined by Dr. Kate Rhéaume to kick off the show. Kate, how you doing?
Hello. Fine, thanks. Great to be back on the show.
Great to have you back. So, Kate, are you a gardener yourself?
I am actually. I have a little plot in the backyard where I grow some flowers and vegetables, and I love it. I can't wait to get out there this week.
Well, let's, before you get out there, I'm sure you take your own advice. There are some things we should keep in mind because we're doing things that we don't necessarily do, you know, on a daily basis, the way that we're moving when we garden. What do you recommend people do before they dive into their gardening season?
Especially if you've been sedentary throughout the winter, it's a good time to warm up. I know we hear this advice. It's common sense, but easy to disregard. Take time to get the circulation going, whether it's a walk around the block or just simply some, you know, knee bends and getting all the joints moving, because that helps with preventing injuries, overuse injuries, or sudden use injuries. And while we are working in the garden, to try to be mindful of things like bending at the knees and not at the back to prevent the kinds of strain that, you know, can happen when you are doing an activity that you haven't done since last year.
Dr. Rhéaume, something else that you recommend people do, and that's building up their collagen. Why that recommendation?
That's right. Collagen is the main structural protein throughout the body. It's in our muscles, tendons, joints, and ligaments. And so it can be a factor in wear and tear on the joints with time. And so if we can do things to build up our collagen, that helps with longevity of our joints and resilience to the type of strain that can happen through all kinds of activities. So foods that help build our collagen include things like bone broth, as well as protein-rich foods, and vitamin C is an antioxidant that we need to make collagen. You can also check your local health food store for collagen supplements that help give specific types of amino acids and nutrients to make sure we can replenish our collagen. We turn over almost 100 grams of collagen per day, and the body needs to make more of it every day to build that up.
Okay. Another thing that we may find is, you know, perhaps, you know, because we're doing something a little different, we may begin to get some sort of inflammation. And inflammation is a big one. Every health professional, I think, is talking about it more and more. You have some great recommendation when it comes to foods we can eat to help with inflammation.
That's right. There are absolutely foods that contain specific nutrients that help our body balance its inflammatory process. Inflammation isn't all bad. It is actually, in fact, a healing process, but it certainly is what causes us to feel sore and achy after we've been, you know, gardening or engaging in any other activity. So healthy fats, the type we might find in things like salmon and nuts and seeds, for example, avocados, olive oil, those tend to be anti-inflammatory, and even egg yolks contain healthy fats as well as compounds that have special anti-inflammatory properties. PEA is one of them. There's a lot of research and interest around this now, and that is something, you know, don't skip the yolks. It's really important to get the healthy nutrients we have in there to balance inflammation.
Isn't that interesting? Because going back, you know, like a couple of generations ago, remember when it was like, don't eat eggs, oh my goodness, you know, and now, you know, the recommendation has completely been turned on its head. So those people that love, you know, having that egg for breakfast, they're certainly welcome to do that, you know, more often than perhaps they think, right?
The egg comes with two parts, the yolk and the white. We need to eat both. It really is a perfect food. There's nothing to be concerned about in terms of egg consumption or egg white omelets or anything like that. When it comes to eggs, you know, the important part, the healthy part, arguably, is in the yolk.
You mentioned that PEA, and I see it in front of you there. Can you describe that just a little bit more for us in detail?
Yeah, this is a healthy type of fat. PEA stands for palmitoyl ethanolamide. You will get this in egg yolks and other types of foods, certain types of legumes, for example. And it is a fat that has been shown to have some anti inflammatory properties. There's quite a bit of research around it for chronic painful conditions, for example, where you have like pinched nerves, carpal tunnel, and sciatica. And it has some pain relieving qualities to it. And so, again, it's something that's natural, it comes from food, but can help tip the balance in your body towards or away from inflammation, rather, towards anti-inflammation.
At the end of our gardening day, you recommend perhaps even, just relaxing in a bath. Let's talk about, that. And, sometimes people are looking for something to perhaps add to their bath to help, sort of relax themselves. So what would you recommend?
Good old-fashioned Epsom salts. This really does work. People have heard of them, but maybe not why. They contain magnesium, very relaxing to the muscles. As you soak in a bath with Epsom salts, you'll absorb some of that magnesium, and it helps to relieve aches and pains. So, and muscle cramps even. So it's an old-fashioned thing that actually really does make a difference.
What about those oatmeals? There's those oatmeals in little packets that that I remember as a kid, my mom used to. Would you recommend that?
Oatmeal is great for soothing itchy skin conditions.
Okay.
But for, aches and pains, Epsom salts does the job.
Gotcha. Dr. Kate Rhéaume, always a pleasure having you on the show, Kate. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Great to see you again.
All right, take care. Again, it is the year of the gardening. If you've never gotten involved in gardening before, those garden centers are open, like they're fully open. There's some wonderful ones, right here in the city. And even in the Ottawa region, if you travel around and you're going out to some of those great little small towns and villages, they have some wonderful ones as well. We'll be back with more Daytime Ottawa right after this. Don't go anywhere.